Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to our video presentation of the project which is performed under the course EEE 413 for VLSA 1 Lab, and the project topic we have chosen is comparative analysis of different SRAM circuits. So before we start, let me introduce myself and my group members. This is Muhammad Redwan Islam, ID 1602050108, and my fellow group mates are Abhijit Kundu, Sahil Mahmood, and Shafiqul Islam. Uh, so in this project, we have implemented 60, 70, 80, 90, and 10T cell topologies of SRAM. So let's start. So here is the schematic of 60 SRAM cell. So let's describe it. So first we will start the write operation. So during write operation, WL will be 1. As a result, this will turn on these access transistors. And if we want to store 1 in the memory, then BL will be 1. This one will come here at Q, and BL bar is 0, which will come here at Q bar. And this one will go here and here. So this NMOS will be turned on, and this PMOS will be turned off. Also, this 0 will go here and turn on this PMOS and turn off this NMOS. As a result, VDD will come here, and 1 will be maintained always at Q, and ground will go here, and 0 will be maintained and Q bar always. So this is how we will store uh, 1, or here in this case we are storing 1. So this is how we will store uh, something in the memory. So after the write operation, WL will be 0. As a result, these access transistors will be off, turned off, and we can see that we have successfully stored 1 in the memory. Now, in 60 SRAM, there is no feasible way or efficient way of reading. So, read operation is not feasible here. This is the demerits of 60 SRAM, which is overcome in uh, later cell topologies. So, in the next slide, we have also verified the output of the 60 SRAM. So then moving on, and here is the layout of the 60 SRAM. Now I would like to call upon my next member to describe the 7T, Abhijit Kundu. Abhijit.
Hello, this is Abhijit Kundu, ID 115. Now we are analyzing the 70 SRAM cell. The 70 SRAM cell is a advanced version of the 60 SRAM cell where we are using write line, write bit line, read bit line, and the read. Now I want to write 1 in the cell memory. As a result, we are applying 1 at write line and the write bit line, and the NMOS number 3 gets turned on, and thus Q is stored with 1. Now this 1 is the input of the CMOS network PMOS 1 and the NMOS 1, that is this one, and which enables the PMOS to turn off and the NMOS to turn on. The NMOS is on. As a result, as it is grounded, so the output reading at Q bar will be 0. 0 is thus stored in Q bar. Now 0 is the input of the CMOS network PMOS 0 and the NMOS 2. 0 enables the PMOS number 0 and turns off NMOS number 2, which uh, which connects the VDD to the queue, and as a result we can see that 1 is held in the memory. Now we want to read the data 1 from the memory. We want to read the data 1, so we apply 0 at the write line and 0 at W bit line. So, and read bit line with 1 and read with 1. As if we see that the read bit line is holding VDD or 1, that means the memory is holding 1 in its memory, and if we see that we are it is discharging uh, and it is getting less than 1, then we have to understand that the memory is holding 0. This forms the network uh, where the discharging will occur from the VDD to the ground if 0 is stored. The same thing is can be verified through the waveform, and in the layout we see that the area is much more needed than the 60 SRAM cell, and also the power thus will be consumed more. But the merits of this cell is that we have a read bit line and the read line, which helps us to read the data perfectly than the 60 SRAM cell. Now I'd like to call my next team member to present 80 SRAM cell. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sahil Mahmood. My student ID is 1602051117. And now I would like to talk about the 80 SRAM cell. The 80 SRAM cell has more advantage than the 70 SRAM cell because it is a more advanced version of 70. So let me explain the operation of 80 SRAM cell. So let's say I want to store the number 1 in the memory. So to do that, I have to enable the write operation. To do so, I have to input 1 in WL and 1 here as the input. So as I input 1 here in WL, this will automatically enable turn on the NMOS transistors, this one and this one, which is the axis transistor. Now this one will go through this transistor and will store right here. So as this one is stored here, this will eventually go through reach these two transistors, and this PMOS will be off and this NMOS will be turned on. Now since I input WBL as 1, it's likely that WBL prime would be 0. So since this transistor is on, this 0 will go through this transistor and will come here. So since 0 is here, this 0 will reach out to these two transistors, and this PMOS will be turned on and this NMOS will be turned off. So now we have successfully stored 1 in this area. So to read the memories, we have to change the operation. To do that, what we have to do now is we have to change the operation to read operation by inputting it as 0. So if we input 0 here, these transistors will now be turned off. And uh, we have to also write input this R as 1 as well, and this RBL as VDD. RBL as VDD. So since these transistors are off and 0 is here, so this 0 is likely to go transmit through here and reach this transistor, which will turn this transistor, as in the NMOS, off. Now, since the VDD has no path to go reach the ground, it's likely that VDD will be set its own value here. So if we get the value of VDD, we will see that it's 1, which clearly shows that the inside value or the stored value is 1. Now coming back to, and this whole operation can be explained through this waveform, which I have explained. And similarly, if you look at the layout of 80 SRAM, we see that this is more, it actually occupies more space than 70 and 60, but the read and write operation of 70 cell of 80 SRAM is more convenient than the previous two generation. So I would now like to call my next member to give his presentation.
Thanks, Shaheen Mahmood. I am Shafiqul Islam Shaun. My role is 125, 160 125. First of all, I am gonna uh, introduce a new advanced version of SRAM, which is called 90. Now I am gonna explain the operation. First of all, the W1 must be maintained one here, and we have to keep one here. And after this operation, this excess transistors will be turned on, and after that we will keep 1 in BL1 and 0 at BL2. For this there will be 1 at Q and 0 at Q bar. For this operation, this PMOS, which is connected to one, and another NMOS is connected to one, PMOS will be turned off, and this NMOS will be turned on. Similarly, this PM0 will be turned on, and PM1 will be turned off. After write operation, we have to change the value of WL into 0. Then the excess transistors will be uh, turned off. Then if we want to read the memory which is stored in the memory, then we have to explain a new operation, which is read operation. For the read operation, we have to maintain VDD at BL and BL prime. For this, one will be stored at this point and at this point, which will introduce a new situation. And for this situation, this will be turned on and this will be turned off, and we will keep one in this register. And for this operation, when the memory turned on, this VDD of BL will be discharged. But we can see that there is no way to discharge in this way, so there will be one in this memory. So we can explain that the reverse position can be saved by BL prime. And thank you for this situation. And I'm Shafiqul Islam Shaun.
Thank you, Shafiqul Islam Shaun. So if you can, okay, thanks. So now I would like to explain 10T cell topology. So okay, so here is the schematic of 10T stem cell. So um, as we can see here, uh, the subcircuit at the right side is similar to 6T SRAM, and this is the subcircuit on the left side, which is introduced here in 10T, and this is for read operation. And apart from others cell topology, we can see the 10T SRAM is so robust, and data stability is high, read operation is so stable. So I'm not gonna explain the write operation, as it is same as SRAM 60 SRAM cell. And suppose we have uh, to explain the read operation, suppose we have q in the memory stored, we have stored 1 in the memory. So in q bar, at q bar we have 0. So this 0 will be given as input in this inverter here. And as 0 has come here, so this PMOS of inverter will be turned on. Or we can say inverter, as this is inverter, input is 0, so output will be 1. So this 1 will be given as input of this transmission gate circuit. And now if we want to read, we have to provide 1 at RE, which is read line, and REB or RE bar will be 0. As a result, this NMOS will be turned on, this PMOS will be turned on. So according to the principle of basket, this one will be passed through here, and at read out we will get 1. So we can see we had stored 1 uh, at write operation, which I didn't explain. As I said, it is similar to 60 RAM, and we are reading it successfully through this sub-circuit. And as it is totally isolated or totally, uh, you know, uh, perform the write operation circuit, so this is so robust, and noise is reduced. And we have also verified the operation through this output waveform, and here is the layout. So we can say 10T SRAM is the uh, most efficient among all in with respect to operation, read-write operation, but it takes much space. In that case, that can be identified as the demerits. But yeah, this is so robust and efficient. So that was our project description, and we would like to thank you all. And yeah, let us finish this.